Good afternoon, everyone, from Easy Bowl in Bluffton, Indiana. This is the PBA Family Ford of Bluffton, Yergy's Barbecue Easy Bowl Central Open. We've made it down to the Stepladder finals here in what I've been calling all weekend, this Research Regional. This is one of the first regionals, definitely one of the first in the standard division, the players 50 and under on the PBA Tour. That took place on, in this case, Cubica AMF Edge string pin setters. And going to be interesting to see as the players make their adjustments throughout the stepladder, what they do to adjust to the slightly different pinfall of these string pins. Not a ton of difference. Let's give you a rundown of your top four in this stepladder. We have Kyle Troup and Chandler Stevens. They'll be battling it out in your opening match. The winner will advance to take on our qualifying leader, David Northouse, and EJ Tackett made himself a great run today to switch places on top with Northouse. And the only player finishing in a different position outside the qualifying finish to where they advanced to the stepladder was Brandon Flora. Brandon Flora dropped from 4th in qualifying. Kyle Troup took that number 4 spot. And Flora, not a good day, dropped down to 9th overall. We'll give you a rundown of all 16 finishers as we work our way through the event. Players bowling on a fresh application of this 38-foot Wayne Webb pattern. And it took a 218.5 average to take down this stepladder. There you see Kyle Troup on the side view here at Easy Bowl. You'll see a lot of these players again next week at Foxview Lanes in Waukesha, Wisconsin for the PBA Midwest Foxview Open, as that will be another research event, test event, as the PBA is looking at the viability of string pins for their events in the future, whether it may just be at the regional level, whether it will be at the regional and national tour levels, whether it may not happen at all and maybe be a separate category of event. So I know Neil Stremmel's been here all weekend long. He's been doing research. He's been talking to the players. There's been a couple of representatives as well from the Cubica AMF company that have been taking information with the players as well. We're down to our final 30 seconds of practice. Thanks, everyone, for joining us from Easy Bowl, and we'll get underway momentarily. We're in beautiful Bluffton, Indiana, the Parlor City, as it's known here. And we are bringing you the stepladder finals of the PBA Family Ford of Bluffton Yergy's Barbecue Easy Bowl Central Open. I'm $2 Phil Bridler taking you through the stepladder today. And thanks, everybody, for joining us on PBA YouTube. I know a lot of you watched during the qualifying rounds as well. And Bobby Jake will be making the announcements momentarily, and we will be underway. Last couple of balls are Troup. See Troup with the urethane in hand. Stevenson urethane in hand as well. And we're going to bring the scoreboard into play. And I think one more shot for each player, and we will be underway. Other finishers in this event just missing out on the stepladder. We saw him take down the $10,000 in the BowlerStore.com Classic in Coldwater, Ohio earlier this summer. Zeke Bate was 5th. William Hibbard 6th. Marshall Kent 7th. He was your champion from 2023. And Ronnie Russell in 8th position. We'll run down more of our finishers a little later in the show. And now we are ready. Here comes Bobby Jekyll with our announcements.
Okay, Bluffton, you ready to get started? Oh, come on, you got to do better than that. Okay, match number 1, our number 4 seed, 12-time national titleist, 2-time major winner, 2022 Player of the Year. Recently moved to Louisville, Kentucky from Taylorsville, North Carolina. Put it up. He's tricking. He's picking. He's Kyle Troup. He is facing off against our number 3 seed, our one-time regional titleist from Archbold, Ohio. Put your hands together, Mr. Chandler Stevens. Okay, Chandler does have lane choice, and he has elected to start on the left lane. Bluffton, how about a nice big round of applause to get the first match underway?
Thanks, Bobby. Appreciate that. Love the houndstooth on Chandler Stevens for the slack choice today. Got to be a little careful with my voice. I am, due to some last-minute changes and having to move some equipment around. I am directly behind the players here inside of Easy Bowl. And there you go, shredding the rack. And opening strike for Chandler Stevens now. As Bobby said, the pro at the fro. Kyle Troup steps on the approach. Once again, 38-foot your lane pattern for the Wayne Webb pattern. And once again, for those of you joining us late, we are on Cubica AMF Edge string pin setters, as this is having the players bowl for, in this case for Kyle Troup, a wrap 10. And sometimes it takes a little bit used to how the pins reset. You watch that curtain drop all the way down, kind of had the pins as they're picked up, and then the curtain lifts, and there you go. There's your single pin. Cross lane at that 10. Oh, and the hook away. That's a little surprising for Kyle Troup. First frame open. Troup 34.96 for his qualifying total for 16 games. That leaves him with a 296 average. Pardon me, a 296 to the plus, a 218.5 average for Troup. And he closed strong today. 256, 259, 209 for Troup. His last 3, and almost the stuff 7, but it falls for Kyle Troup. I got to ask Stevens where he got those houndstooth patents, because I got to get me a pair. Those are some sharp-looking slacks. Stevens, boy, he had a rough stretch. 8-game qualifying block today as he puts up an early double. 8-game qualifying block today. Stevens was 120 over for his first 4 and then gave a lot of it back with 141 in game 5, but finished strong. 199, 247, 227 for Stevens as he put himself in the number 3 position and had himself with the lane choice on this match. So, of course, with having lane choice, a little surprising. He's going to finish the match last after Troup, but he must have found something he liked on ball reaction for lane 12 that he wants to finish there. Oh, talk about splitting some lumber. You know, as we said, I'm keeping my voice down here as, you know, being kind of behind the bowlers. if you listen between shots, there is zero. I mean, once those pins are set, listen, you could, I mean, the term pin drop really is a thing here. As these cubic AMF string pin setters run so quiet and efficiently, it's like the crowd's even watching how loud they're talking. Troup, third frame, working on a strike. Nope, not going to get there. And the super washout. And this is one of those shots that I know, yeah, I'm watching Neil Sturmer right now, keeping a little bit of an eye on. Because there's always the concern about the string assisting pinfall, and one of the reasons with us being here with the live stream and videoing this week. And how about that? Backdoor. On the super washout. You don't see a lot of pins come out the back, but that one definitely had the head of that 10 pin. Had the head pin hit the 10 in the back, and then the 10 just kind of bumped into the 6. And the 6 goes down, and the spare on the board for Kyle Troup. I know there's going to be a lot of you watching this on YouTube. They're going to be going back and forth as Zapruder filming it. I'd probably do the same. Fourth frame for Troup, down 35 already. And a much better ball reaction. And maybe that's why you're seeing the reason why Chandler Stevens picked lane 12 to finish on. He's got a lot better reaction on 12 than Troup is having. Fourth frame for Stevens. Look at how very direct he's playing that Wayne Webb pattern. Oh, and the wrap 10. And Stevens stays calm, cool, and collected. Stevens during qualifying averaged 218.75 for his qualifying round yesterday, and then in the advancer round today, kept that average right around the same. Oh my. Into the gutter it goes. And at least Stevens with 87 in the fourth. Troup can get up in the fifth and sixth frames and double. He can possibly get that disadvantage he has currently down to just 8 pins. So once again, bowling can be a fickle beast, and momentum can change quite quickly. We did have one 300 game on the weekend. Riley Spear put up a 300 in his 8th game at A Squad yesterday. Left him a bit short of making Sunday's finals, but still a great way to finish for Spear. And that one, you just see the release was far from perfect for Stevens. And now there's an open frame here. Troup's going to be licking his chops. For those of you that want to get some inside info on what PBA Director of Rules and Equipment Neil Stremmel is going to be looking for on not just this string pin research regional this weekend, but also next weekend in Foxview Lanes and Waukesha. Go back on one of our main feeds during A Squad or B Squad from Saturday's competition, right in the middle of the squad games, 5, 6, 7, right in there. And Neil gives some pretty good information on what he's looking for. And you know, it's definitely going to be objective, lots of stats being developed. Everyone may have their subjective view on string pins, but from talking to the players he's bowled with this weekend, doing research off the video that we took on the live streams, as Troup gets the kick save and a beauty on the 10 pin. with the 6, and now Troup finds himself with the chance to take a lead after sitting on the bench dejected. But that's why these bowlers never give up until it's mathematically impossible to get your way into a victory. Sixth frame for Troup, looking for that turkey. Oh my. Terrible break there for Troup. You saw that 5-pin, saw it behind the 4. And the head pin didn't do its job off the sideboards. So one would think single pins should be routine for a player such as Troup. What we saw in the first frame with the miss of the 10 pin sometimes takes a little bit for the confidence to get back. Looks like the confidence is back now. That's the pat on the back. I'd like to thank our sponsors of our live streaming this weekend and of our Stepladder finals here. One of those being the PBA LBC National Championships 2025 edition announced. We'll be back at Bolero Mount Prospect in 2025. If you're a Bolero PBA League member, great toss there by Stevens, or you've bowled in previous editions of the LBC National Championships, your entries are open already for the general public. Those entries will open on December 1st. Get all your tournament information at pba.com/LBC tournament. Also want to thank H5G Brands. If you watched the PBA LBC Clash from Bayside Bowl in Portland, Maine a couple of weeks back, you saw Gianna Brandolino take down that $60,000 in the Clash. And H5G is helping them celebrate by offering 20% off almost everything on the site. Use that code Brandolino20 for 20% off at h5gbrands.com. Wally gets a little lazy, and the 7 pins left for Stevens. And one thing I've noticed is just the efficiency of these string pins and ball returns all week long. Occasionally, sure, you get a tangle, but those tangles are usually quickly cleared by the machine themselves. Only a couple of occasions this weekend where there was human intervention needed as the spare converted by Stevens. And I've been impressed by the edge pin setters here this weekend. One more sponsor to thank this weekend. Thanks for coming on board. BowlerX.com. They're a supporter of the Striking Out Breast Cancer Foundation. With October being Breast Cancer Awareness Month, make your purchase at BowlerX.com. Make an additional donation and have your chance to win a bowling ball, bag, or shoes up to $250 in value of your choice. Get all your details at BowlerX.com. Troup 7th frame working on a spare, needs help to get there, and he scrambles them up. And we've got ourselves a heck of a match here, as you see on the scoreboard. Just 2 pins the difference in Troup's favor currently, as Kyle looking for something on the approach. Oh, I guess not, just trying to get the mental focus together. You know, one thing that we didn't have to worry about this weekend at all, you know, PBA bowlers, any level of competition, TV on down to PBA Junior, they are allowed 2 re-racks per game. And with as well as these pin setters, set all 10 pins on spot, shot after shot. I didn't see a player take a re-rack all weekend long. Eighth frame for Troup, looking for the double. Oh, 6 does the job on the 10. And that puts Troup in the driver's seat. He can finish with 2:38. Stevens maximum 2:26. There you hear David Northouse practicing down on the high end of the house, as he'll be taking on the winner of this match. $3,500 awaiting the winner here today. And wow, that pin went high in front of the 7-pin. Doesn't take it down, so back-to-back light 7-pin hits for Stevens. We'll see what type of adjustment he makes getting into the 9th and 10th frames. It's funny listening to people that are actually having conversations with each other. They're actually leaning into it and whispering with each other just to make sure it's quiet, as these 4 machines that are on right now are running. Yeah, there's definitely a hush over the crowd, as they say. So Stevens, that drops his maximum score down now to 215. Troup pacing 218 on the way out if he were to go strike spare. Pardon me, 208 would be the pacing for Troup if he went strike spare, or spare strike spare on the way out. Bowling math can be hard on occasion after a long weekend of qualifying and advancers rounds. Oh, there you go. That's 6 with some velocity coming off the sideboard, taking down the 10, but now Chandler Stevens just a spectator. As it's up to Kyle Troup. Striking the 9th and decent count in the 10th. And Kyle's going to take another second here. Oh, waiting on a ball return. See it spinning in the back. Just want to make sure there's not a lot of noise. Give you some other top finishers here while we were waiting on that. Oh, and of course now the ball makes its way back. We'll give you some top finishers after Kyle throws this frame. Foundation frame for Troup, still looking at that 238 maximum strike here. And good count with a mark in the 10th can end it. Sits up nicely, and that 6 just does the half 6 we've seen a bit this weekend. And messengers, there were a few. They were not, don't throw messengers on a milk carton yet, everybody. They're not fully missing, but did take a bit of nerve to take them down. We saw a couple this weekend. Kyle Troup had one. EJ Tackett had a couple. So the rumor that messengers are fully gone from string pin setters, not true. So 12 pins the advantage now for Troup. So this turns into a who has pretty much the better 10th frame. As Troup's maximum now is 217 to go with the 215 maximum for Stevens. So obviously here with the math, Troup needs to go double. And 9 to lock up victory. Oh, almost the back door on the 2-pin. And that leaves the opening now for Stevens. Count here huge for Troup. spare here and a full ride on the fill ball. Gets to 206, and that forces the double out of Stevens, as Stevens could go, if he went spare strike in the 10th, would be it. Or, yeah, strike spare in the 10th would be at 205 for a max. Troup with the cover. We did have a big four converted this weekend as well. Kevin McCune during qualifying, game 8 on B squad last night, bounced into the 4-7, took it down. I'm sure you'll see that clip coming out on PBA social media in the next day or two. So unfortunately don't have that replay for here on the Stepladder. So Troup here to force the double out of Stevens. Fill ball the 10th frame. There you go. That's the huge ball here. And now sit and sweat it out for Troup. Is Troup stayed done? Stevens doubles. That would be the case. Any way you look at it, the bowler eliminated from the Stepladder in this match is going to be taking home $1,100. Nah, still not a bad weekend's worth of work. Needs help to get up, full bucket. And Troup advances. Not the weekend ending that Chandler Stevens wanted, but still a nice payday to walk away. And wow, in front of it. So there's your handshake. Troup stays alive. Stevens finishes in 4th place. EJ Tackett's going to come on board for some practice in the Northouse. We'll get some as well, and we'll be underway.
Kyle Troup wins the first match 206 to 183, finishing in 4th place. Chandler Stevens, how about a nice round of applause for Chandler? Kyle, you've got your choice.
So Kyle can wait. They might fire up the lanes next door. Otherwise, Kyle can take a walk and stay loose. Otherwise, now EJ Tackett's going to get a couple of shots. As you see, PBA Central Regional Manager Bobby Jekyll making an appearance on cam. A handsome human being, if I say so myself. Tackett will get some practice shots if he wants them. Northouse will get some practice. Once again, every round of the Stepladder is a separate round. So if Kyle Troup wanted to change the surface on his bowling balls, whether they were in play or not, he has the ability to do so at this time, as every match is considered a new round. I think EJ is going to pass on his practice, and we'll leave it up to Northouse. Northouse gets how many on each lane?
He'll get 8 shots.
8 shots in total, the way he wants it. Hey, let's talk a little bit about how fun the Pro-Am was on Friday night here. My goodness, they put out a phenomenal deal for the Pro-Am. First of all, you walk in the door and you see Yergy's Barbecue, one of our primary sponsors of this event. There you get some Yergy's Barbecue. Every Pro-Am bowler received that. There you see Angie Tackett helping get the crowd through. Look at that superstar lineup we had for the Pro-Am. EJ holding his son Trip. Bowlers all talking to the fans as they go along. And look at the full house we had on Friday night for the Pro-Am. Thanks once again to the Tackett family for hosting us all weekend long. And we appreciate everything they've done for the sport of bowling. You can tell EJ, Zach, Natalie, Kayla Crawford, and of course Eddie and Angie Tackett how much they enjoy giving back to the sport with an event like this, and they were glad to have the PBA here this week. And you look at the superstar roster that this regional had. Out of 45 players, 7 of those players were PBA Tour titleists. There were some players that have tour titles that didn't make it through to the round of 15 today for advancers. A.J. Johnson finished in 17th. Sam Cooley 18th. Zach Tackett 16th. Brian Robinson, who goes through a lot of the PTQs on tour, finished in 20th. We mentioned Kayla Crawford. She shoot up, finished 25th. Not a bad showing for somebody who really just bowls once a week nowadays in her league, and great collegiate career Crawford had as well. PBA exempt player for 2025, Bailey Maverick, had himself a not-so-good event, unfortunately finishing 27th. Justin Knowles, 31st. So Northouse during some additional practice. Taking a look down at EJ and Kyle Troup conversing now in the practice pair on 21 and 22, and maybe the conversations about where they're going for dinner tonight. I know one of the associate sponsors of this event, Parlor City Brewing. There was some beverages brought last night from Parlor City. And once again, want to thank our primary sponsors with Family Ford of Bluffton, Yergy's Barbecue, and of course Easy Bowl. And they had quite a few sponsors that helped them really pump up the prize fund this weekend. Over $7,000 in added prize money provided this weekend, and only 45 players and a $3,500 first place prize. Pretty awesome to have. I'm $2 Phil Bryla, bringing you through our semifinal here. And then your championship matches. Once again, E.J. Tackett in the wings is the 1 seed. And Kyle consulting with his dad, Guppy. Took Guppy a little longer to get up here. There was obviously coming up from the southeast, so many roads closed, so many lives affected by Hurricane Helene, and now Milton coming in for everybody in Florida. So, you know, for those of you in those affected areas, hopefully things turn around rather quickly. And we have a single practice ball remaining for Northouse. He will then have lane choice, and we'll get some announcements from Bobby Jekyll to get this second match underway. A lot of the players you saw here this week in Bluffton, you'll see them next week in Waukesha, Wisconsin, PBA Midwest.
Can you put Troup on the left lane and Northouse on the right lane, please?
As that will be another one of the, as I like to say, research regionals that we'll be having.
Okay, we are ready for match number 2. Kyle Troup moves on to face our number 2 seed, looking for that first PBA regional title from Byron North, Michigan. Is that how it goes?
Byron Center.
Byron Center, Michigan, sorry. This is David Northouse.
Close.
Okay.
All right. With the introduction of Northouse, we'll get some arrows reversed. We'll get some information on your screen. There we go. It's our second stepladder match. And we will be underway here from Easy Bowl in Bluffton, Indiana. Thanks, everybody, for joining us for the coverage of this PBA Family Four to Bluffton Yergy's Barbecue Easy Bowl Central Open. Kyle Troup opening frame. Kyle Troup goes high and maybe did not anticipate enough of the oil movement by Northouse. You get a lot of surface on these bowling balls, as we're seeing with the players using the urethane for control on this 38-foot Wayne Webb pattern. Cross lane spare and tickles down the 10. That wasn't exactly a all over a cover there by Kyle Troup. And now our first look in the stepladder at David Northouse. Northouse gave it a run at PBA Tour Trials back in August, falling just short of getting an exemption. For 2025. That needs to peel a lot. Oh, we might have new pin setters here. I don't think they manufacture sanctionable 60 or 70-foot lanes yet. But that's what Northouse needed on that first shot. As that ball went long. And now an interesting conversion. We saw one of these for Kyle Troup in the opening game that came out of the back and had some interesting pinfall to it. We'll see what Northouse can do here. Maybe he'll make it a little more conventionally. Oh. And he wraps the 6 around the 10. My goodness. You know, one thing that's interesting to me as kind of a bowling geek is that when you're looking at the pins after the first ball, so let's say you just have that a single pin left, a 10 pin, and you see the reflection of the pins that are up in the rack still down in the lane. It reminds me of the old AMF 8230s where they slid in the pin cups, and you could see them in the cups as the rack would go up and down. You could see the reflection. It kind of reminds me of that. A little retro feel to it. And there's the smash 7. My goodness. Just when Northouse wanted to make sure he got a quick start against one of the best in the world with Kyle Troup. Northouse gets it stuck to him a little bit. Northouse averaged 220.69 for his 16 games this weekend. Straight up the left side of the lane, no problem on the conversion. And Troup steps up in the second, looking to get an 11-pin lead. There you see that chamois. Those chamois are so necessary for these players out here on the PBA Regional Tour. Make sure you're getting all of that residual lane oil off the bowling ball. Slight drift to the left. That had a little hop when it hit the lane, but it sets up nicely. And 10 back for the man now from Louisville. Still haven't listed as Taylorsville, North Carolina, but he's been living in Louisville for over a year now. And I know he's got a big charity event coming up around Thanksgiving. If you haven't followed Kyle Troup's PBA Facebook page yet, please do so and get that information. If you're anywhere around Louisville or just want to help that cause out, make a donation to that 9-pin no-tap charity event. Kyle posted a nice video from here at Easy Bowl on Friday, so you'll find that relatively recently on his Facebook page. Give it a good look. Third frame for Troup. Ooh, that one kind of had some wobble there. started to hook stop, then really hooked. And sometime with the urethane that these balls create, carry down, and sometimes that carry down can get a little spotty depending on the player's ball roll and the other player's ball rolls as well. So Troup. That beautiful striking out breast cancer bowling ball in hand, and once again, thanks to our sponsor on board this week with the PBA LBC National Championships. Entries open now. If you bowled in the past LBC, or if you're a Bolero LBC member, everyone else opens up December 1st. Check it out. PBA.com/LBC tournament. Oh my. And Northouse, not sure what happened there. A little moisture on the thumb. My goodness. Yeah, he's going to get something out of the accessory bag. And looks like it's going to be a piece of thumb tape. The bane of the two-hander. Just kidding. Not too many two-handers out there need thumb tape, but Northouse makes it happen. Bad part for Northouse is working on a spare, so loses a bunch of count. At least, yeah, stuff like that. You watch bowlers get injured. I mean, you watch a ball come off a thumb, bounce off an ankle, off a toe. Yeah, that could be a pure world of hurt. Let's see how he gets it back together here. And that one goes long, 7 out for the frame, and 34 pins now the advantage for Kyle Troup. And Northouse is hopefully physically okay. You see him still putting the tape on the thumb. Checking that out, and once again to the chamois. Not a ton of surface on that bowling ball, but when you have 22 feet of dry on the back end to start with on this Wayne Webb pattern, yeah, you usually don't see charcoal briquettes in the player's hands. Northouse, 4th frame. There you go. 2-pin does the job on the 4. And there you see Kyle Troup. We mentioned his striking out breast cancer spare ball. Member of the Bowler X staff as well, and Troup, a big supporter of the Striking Out Breast Cancer Foundation. And once again, any purchase made at bowlerx.com this month, you also have an opportunity to make a donation. And with that donation, you're entered in a raffle where you can win a bowling ball, bowling bag, or bowling shoes worth $250 or more. Get all that information, bowlerx.com. And the head pin comes off the sideboard, stops the 5 from getting over the 7. But the key for Troup right now, stay clean, keep yourself up by 33 pins, and let Northouse be the player that tries to have to make the comeback. You don't want to give your opponent any advantage. And that's, I said, you can look about 40 feet down lane, 45 feet down lane. You see the reflection of all the pins that are still in the rack. I think that's kind of neat, kind of retro. Covered by Troup. And another sponsor we've had all season long, we like to thank H5G Brands, celebrating Gianna Brandolio's win at the PBA LBC National Championships Clash. $60,000 in that young lady's pocket. And you can also check out Gianna's great line of jerseys, and you can use that code Brandolino20 for 20% off most everything on the H5GBrands.com website. Certain exclusions do apply. But after you're done watching this today, check out h5gbrands.com. Beverage frame for Troup. And the wrap 10, and Troup just 1 strike in 5 attempts here. And match number 2 snuck out a victory over Stevens in the opening match. And there you see Troup coming into your picture from the left. Had a problem with this pin in the first game, but taking care of it here in game 2. And stays clean through 5. Keeps the advantage at 32 currently, but Northouse working on a strike in his half of the 5th frame. Northouse, that right foot standing right about 4th board from the right gutter, and he's going to be relatively direct. A little footwork issue on the bottom there. You saw that foot kind of wobble, but doesn't affect the target line, and a double on the board for Northouse. Northouse still a maximum 236. I mean, obviously, Troup right now pacing in the 190s, so Northouse can pop another strike here in the 6th frame, put a turkey on the board. It's going to make Kyle Troup's next 2 shots very interesting. We going to see the gobbler? Oh, yes, we are. 3 in a row for Northouse. And that takes Troup's advantage out from being at 32 down to just 12. As Troup steps up working on a spare in the 6th frame. There you see that thumb out to the right side of the bowling ball. That pinky was spread, and yeah, you just fully unhappy with that shot, and just a mental mistake. And even Guppy right now is just waving his hands going, what happened? What happened? Time to just refocus. Get your spare, move on. You're still in the lead, but now it's just by 10 pins. And when your opponent's working on a string and you're just filling frames, that can spark a little bit of panic. Troup with the cover. It's just funny in here. There's just, once the balls are thrown, once the pins are set, it's just eerie compared to decades of noise in the bowling center. It's nice though having a conversation while a tournament's going on and not having to yell over the pinfall noise or such, or raise our voice. I mean, Bobby Jekyll and I both notorious for having voices that carry, and we're both kind of looking at each other going, yeah, we gotta shut up here. Seventh frame for Troup. Only 1 strike so far this game. Now make it 2. And you see the flex. By Troup on the way back. Troup's maximum score 236. As we mentioned, guess what that same maximum score is for one David Northouse. So a strike here by Northouse, and we are dead even. Turns it into a 3-frame match here. And our second step ladder match. Is that going to bounce? Yes, it is. Well done by Northouse. We're down to a 3-frame match. That's the situations these pros mentally prepare themselves for. It's not just sometimes just, oh, I gotta, you know, we were kids. Hey, I'm gonna strike out and win the U.S. Open or the Tournament of Champions. You know, these players practice. Hey, I need the last 5, last 6 to win an event. How about that? There is no doubt they were all going down on that shot for Northouse. And now Kyle Troup, as you see, he's still sitting. He's figuring out what he needs to do on lane 12 to put a double up on the board. I mean, I don't want to say if he doesn't strike here, it's over. But if he doesn't strike here, it's a short road to try to bring back 20 pins. I mean, you look at the difference between 3 strikes in a row and strike, spare, strike. And that's a 20-pin difference on the score sheet every time that happens. Eighth frame for Troup, looking for the double, steps it out. Oh, and the 6 doesn't do the job. The 10's rolling, but there is not enough length on that 10-pin. Or pardon me, on that head pin to get to the 10. And it's going to be mandatory strike mode time now for Kyle Troup. As his maximum now has dropped to 216. Quality cover. And he knows the darkness may be falling on his weekend. Player exiting the stepladder in this match will take home $1,500. Win this match, you're guaranteed at least $2,100. And if you take home all the beef and noodles here from Easy Bowl, that's worth $3,500 in your pocket. If you've been here for Angie Tackett's Beef and Noodles, you know what I'm talking about. It is some quality food. Once again, appreciate everybody here at Easy Bowl. All the staff the Tacketts have as well. Been really making sure they've been making every player, every fan have a quality experience. Inside Easy Bowl, 9th frame. Must have. Get there once. No. And the pin spun and stopped. Brakes were put on and 7-pin stays. And now Northouse, he's deep in thought. Foot tapping for Northouse. He's getting ready to get up and try to put this match away. As Troup's maximum score now 205. Northouse just needs to fill 2 frames of good shots. Oh. Vicious. Ring 10. You'd think the vortex from the 6-pin going around the 10, that would create a little suction vortex as fast as it was going, but not to be. And Northouse now still can make Troup's 10th frame moot with a conversion here and a double and 1 in the 10th. A little footwork at the line. Still picks it up. So a double and one in the 10th for Northouse. Puts him in the championship match against EJ Tackett. Anything less, and Kyle Troup tried to find a way to strike on lane 12. And he's going to have to do it multiple times to have his chance to battle EJ Tackett. Biggest shot of the weekend to this point for Northouse, and he got a little fast with it. And how the tide turns. All the work that five-bagger getting himself back in contention in this match. Could be off or not. Without a conversion here on the 2, 4, and 10 for Northouse. He's going to shoot right up the left side of the lane. Make sure he makes thin contact on that 2-pin. Send it into the 10. Oh, doesn't quite get there. 189. Pardon me, 191 the final score for Northouse. Now it just needs a filled frame with good count for that man right there. And Troup gets that ball off the rack. Make sure that sole of that shoe is in quality shape. And this is how champions are developed. You're in this situation. It's not a must punch 3 to move on, but it's a must fill frame with good count. And sometimes those can be a little mentally tougher. Push. Oh, I thought maybe that would punch high. And now just 7 pins on 2 balls. And Kyle Troup will be the player advancing into the championship match. Kyle going to take an extra second here to gather himself. Do not blame him one bit. So the last thing you want to see in this situation is a Greek church or a super washout. I mean, we saw it in the PBA LBC clash a couple weeks back. Sometimes it's easy to get 5. Seven or better advances. That's enough to advance. What a hard-fought battle by David Northouse. I mean, after that, freak delivery in the 3rd frame, let's say, you don't expect a ball to fall off a thumb like that. At least Northouse wasn't injured, but, I mean, just to empty that from the memory banks and drop it. Throw a 5-bagger, get yourself back in the match. It's pretty amazing. Well, spare didn't mean a lot, but Kyle Troup is going to move on. You see the handshake, and Northouse taking home $1,500. But yeah.
Final match, Kyle Troup defeating David Northouse 194 to 191, finishing in 3rd place. Have a nice round of applause for David Northouse.
Okay. So EJ Tackett will get some practice shots coming on. And there's not too many places in the world where you can't say Kyle Troup is the fan favorite walking in the door. This is one of the places where he's not the fan favorite walking in the door, let's be honest. E.J. Tackett, he's won in this center when this event was an RPI. He finished second last year to Marshall Kent. And he'll be taking his practice shots. And you just see the demeanor of E.J. There's E.J. on the lanes and E.J. off the lanes. And E.J. on the lanes is just switched. E.J. making sure he was staying warm. Got to admit, the climate control in the center all weekend has been nothing but spectacular. Talking to E.J. about what the family did here this summer with remodeling. I mean, if you take a peek here at all the masking units, those are all new. The black paint above the masking units, they painted that wall. They painted all the walls inside the center. If you compare what we shot here in 2021 for this event, you compare the brightness on the cameras, it's much brighter now. They've replaced all the lighting in here with LED lighting, so not only is it brighter, it's also a little more energy efficient. And that's one of the benefits, too, of these Cubica AMF Edge pin spotters. I mean, listen to it. They're not using any electricity right now other than the lights on. And the computer's on the back monitoring everything. It's so energy efficient compared to the old 8270s that the center had. We had 310-volt motors constantly running. They didn't shut off. They kept going. And, yeah, it's going to be interesting. It'll be interesting to talk to EJ about how the energy bill's been since they've installed these. So, I mean, there's so many benefits that, will help proprietors, keep the lights on in an energy efficient manner, of course. So this is a battle I'll bring in a few YouTube viewers, no doubt about it. I mean, you've got the bowler that's looking for another Bowler of the Year title. And E.J. Tackett, Kyle Troup's had a hell of a year as well. I mean, just statistically, it's just insane what they've both done in the 2020s. I mean, look at this year. E.J. Tackett leading the PBA Tour points. Kyle Troup 6th. Of course, that big title of the two Kyle Troup has this year, as he'll be walking into Woodland Bowl, kicking off the 2025 PBA Tour season as the U.S. Open defending champion. Troup also took down the Just Bear PBA Indiana Classic. And you looked at those first few events on tour, and you're thinking to yourself, Kyle Troup, front runner for Player of the Year, and then E.J. Tackett said, hold my Michelob Ultra. As E.J. Tackett, with, 5 straight TV shows, Troup defeated EJ for the Just Bear Indiana Classic title. I mean, look at these finishes for EJ this year. His worst finish was 40th in the PBA Cheetah Championship, but yet EJ said, don't worry about that. It's the World Series of Bowling. I've got a couple more events in the World Championship match play to take down the World Championship another time. And Tackett did that to go with the Shark. And I believe our shadow balls are completed. Who needs the national tour? That's what these regional events are about. I mean, you get your chance as a PBA member to shoe up against the best in the world.
We are ready to begin our final match. Kyle Troup moves on to face on tournament leader again for the 5th straight year. Weird, right? So, obviously 23-time national champion, including 5 majors. We have a final featuring 2 PBA Players of the Year. So it should be an exciting match. So, but anyway, hometown hero, Mr. E.J. Tackett. Bluffton, we're going to have our awards presentation right after this match, so don't go nowhere.
And Kyle Troup will be leading things off. E.J. Tackett at lane choice's higher seed. And we'll see if Kyle can get out of the gates a little bit better than he has during his first 2 matches. You seem creeping into the left side of your picture to open up this PBA. Family Ford of Bluffton, Yergy's Barbecue Easy Bowl Central Open Championship match. I'm $2 Phil Brylo taking you all the way through this championship, and there you go, 6 on the 10. And that's the start Kyle Troup needed. Send the message right away. This is a new game. This is a new me. You're not getting an early advantage like I gave in match 1. Against Chandler Stevens, now Tackett. First frame. Bellies it out. Perfectly done. Oh, I know I'm going to enjoy this championship match. I know the fans here at Easy Bowl are enjoying this championship match. And boy, what a great way you can to have 2 of the best in the world showing off these Cubic AMF Edge string pin setters. Can't wait to do it again next week in Waukesha, Wisconsin, the PBA Midwest Foxview Open. And you'll see EJ, you'll see Kyle, you'll see a lot of the players you saw during qualifying and match play this week. Making their way to Waukesha are the Hainan family, and H5G brands are going to be great hosts for that event. You'll see all the live streaming on PBA YouTube, and 2 for 2 for Tackett in the championship match. And you knew it when the names are on the board. You're thinking to yourself, yeah, it's going to take 240 to win this one. You're probably right. Troup working on that first frame strike. Two for 2, yes indeed. Boy, they have just made sure that 1-3 pocket is filled firmly with urethane or resin. There has been 4 no-doubters to this point to open up our championship match. Let's give you some other top finishers from this event. Local, Mike Habiger was 15th. Jacob Balzer, 14th. Scott McIntyre Jr., 13th. Steve Novak, 12th. Kevin McCune, who made a 4.67.10 during qualifying last night, was 11th. And Andrew Halverson finished 10th. Oh, let's see some poultry. No. Through the nose. And 3.6.10. Never a fun spare at any point in an event. Definitely not going to be a fun attempt for Troup here. In the third frame. Perfectly done cover by Troup in the third. And as EJ makes his way back down, chamois in hand, looking to put 3 in a row on the board. standing already well left of the center dot. You see the slide right about 30. And that comes a bit high. And I think EJ should be happy there that it's just the 4. Of course, count always huge in any situation, but already now, cover the spare. Keep yourself with a 2-pin advantage. And the cover made by EJ Tackett. EJ, one of the staffers at H5G Brands, and you like what you see on EJ, you like that jersey, they can make that replica your way. Put your name on it, put whatever logos you need on it. And this week, in celebration of Gianna Brandolino's victory in the PBA LBC National Championships Clash, use the code Brandolino20 for 20% off most everything on the website. At h5gbrands.com. EJ back in the pocket. EJ takes all 10 down, and the crowd here in Bluffton with somewhat subdued applause at this moment, one would think. If a victory does happen in hand for EJ, that applause will be long and loud. Now Troup looking for his own bounce back strike in the 4th frame. Needs to bounce it in. Yeah, you saw it come back a little bit. Almost got lucky enough to have the headpin get across the deck and take the 10 out. And now, can Troup keep the momentum from sliding away? Come on, shooter. Oh, hooks away. And a big gaping wound on the score sheet for Troup. Gonna leave him in a tough situation here. Entries are now open for the 2025 PBA LBC National Championships at Bolero Mount Prospect in the greater Chicagoland area. If you're a Bolero LBC bowler or a previous entrant of this event, you can enter now. General public gets to enter December 1st. Get all your information, pba.com/LBC tournament. Troup bounce back in the beverage frame. Oh, 6 wraps around the 10. Makes you see that wiggle. Doesn't fall. And boy, can EJ really put his foot on the gas. Slam that accelerator down. If he can put together 3 in a row in the 4th and 5th and 6th. So Troup, I mean, don't count him out of it yet, obviously. 243 still possible for Troup. But that gives EJ a little wiggle room. As EJ's going to check the thumb fit there. Gets it taken care of. Double check, picked it up. And on to the approach here in the 5th frame. Working on a strike. Yeah, you tell the balance just wasn't there. Timing a bit off. And another 4-pin for Tackett on lane 12. Something that tells me there will be a move left made by the hometown kid. I say kid lightly, now he's 30. EJ Tackett, Bowler X staffer, and another supporter of the Striking Out Breast Cancer Foundation. Once again, make your purchase at bowlerx.com this month. And if you make an additional donation to Striking Out Breast Cancer, you will have your chance for every $500 in funds raised. They'll be doing a raffle drawing. You win ball, bag, or shoes worth $250 of your choice. Check out all the details at bowlerx.com. And Tackett keeps the lead out there. 16 pins. Troup stepping up, and stepping up rapidly. Here in his half of the 6th frame. First, you see the silhouettes of EJ and Zach Tackett at the end of the lane. And nothing but silhouettes left at the end of the lane for Kyle Troup. As all 10 pins leave into the black void. Soon to be quickly reset. They're already there for the next attempt. So once again, Troup's max 243, EJ Tackett's max 259. With 4 frames remaining here at Easy Bowl in Bluffton, Indiana, PBA. Family 4 to Bluffton. Yergy's Barbecue Easy Bowl Central Open. Glad to be bringing it to you on PBA YouTube. I'm $2 Phil Brilo. 7th frame for Troup. Get a kick. Oh. Yeah. I don't know if you heard that from Kyle, but he was right. That is just dirty. Not the time for that wrap 10. You got to refocus, though. You can't lose filling frames right now. You can't do anything about your opponent. You got to take care of business yourself. Put up the score you can. And there you go. Kyle covers it up, but that's a painful cover just on the basis of he knew he needed that to cut into the advantage EJ Tackett has at the moment. You don't get a lot of advantages against EJ Tackett out on the lanes, and especially here in his home center. As part of the ownership family. Tackett for the double in the 7th. Needs help. Oh, I did not think that one was going to make it all the way back. Of course, I'm not the one throwing the ball. That's why I'm the one talking about it. If I had more talent throwing the ball, you'd see me out there instead of EJ. Yeah, right. I mean, just what a phenomenal last 5 years Tackett's had. I mean, let's be honest, he's had a phenomenal PBA career. All together, Rookie of the Year 2013, all the way to multiple Player of the Year awards. And he's looking to take down another one here in 2024. And when I received my ballot as a media member, I got to check it off. Especially the dominating performance at the World Series of Bowling, and that one creeps way high. And now, don't turn off your computer monitors yet, ladies and gentlemen. This one is not even close to being decided. Three, 4, 6, 7. He knows the drill. Get the ball. Just tickle that 3 pin into the 4. 4 should take the 7 down. And goes too long. That Wayne Webb pattern still has enough oil on the outside that it can cause some problems. And now the problem with Tackett's score sheet is his max score is 219. Max score for Kyle Troup, 223. Troup trying to see if he's got his. Yeah, he just crept a little bit left with his feet. Not much. Eighth frame working on a spare. Oh, just pure for the pro with the fro. And a strike here in the foundation frame puts Troup in the lead, and E.J. Tackett won't be able to shut out Kyle Troup in the 9th and 10th frames. You know, it's interesting here, and this is something to think about for the future. Usually if bowlers wanted to take some more time, there's normally a 25-second shot clock in any level of PBA competition, including here. They would take one of their 2 re-racks. There's been no re-racks all weekend. These pins are always on spot. So maybe with these string pins, they may change the rule where you get 2 timeouts a game. We'll have to figure that out in the future if the PBA does approve the various string pins for PBA competition. We're on the Cubica Edge strings this week, and how about that? Kyle Troup knows he cannot be shut out. And now, E.J. Tackett. Don't think it's easy because it's a home game for him. You got that many fans here in the building rooting for you. There is a little extra pressure on you to not let them down. I mean, he's already won in this building a couple times. This is the 5th year in a row. As Bobby Jekyll said, he's made the final match and needs help. Oh, he gets the 8 out at least. But you just see the head fall back and the frustration level for EJ at this moment. There's your scoreboard. It's a must make. No doubt. If he gets 1 here, his max is going to be 198 with striking out in the 10th. And that's just going to require a filled frame by Kyle Troup. Must make, nope. So now 197, the maximum for E.J. Tackett. Yeah, E.J. does punch out. It's going to make it a mark, a requirement for Kyle Troup, and that's a good count. Before and after a spare. First ball, the 10th for EJ. Nope, not even close to happy with it. And we're done. Second year in a row. That E.J. Tackett makes it to the championship match. And yeah, that's just a look of heartbreak. E.J. had the hometown fans in front of him. And now Troup. Just count. It's more than enough. What a way to end it. Kyle Troup is your champion of the PBA Family Ford of Bluffton, Yergy's Barbecue Easy Bowl Central Open. We'll have a check and trophy presentation with Bobby Jekyll momentarily. And then we'll get Kyle Troup up here in the booth. And we'll talk to him a little bit about his championship run. There you go, good friends off the lanes. EJ and Kyle. And we'll have that trophy presentation and check presentation momentarily here from Easy Bowl in Bluffton, Indiana. Here's Bobby Jekyll with your winner.
How about that for a finish, folks? Your 2024 champion, Kyle Troup. The mandatory hug by Mama Tackett. Like to bring out, let's bring out the entire Tackett family, our host this weekend. Give these people a huge round of applause for everything that they do for the players. The extra money for the prize fund. Taking care of the players. Fantastic pro-am on Friday night. We can't thank them enough. So I'm going to turn the mic over to Kyle and have the champion say a few words.
Oh boy. I guess I first got to thank everyone for coming out. But more importantly, I want to say thank you to the Tackett family. I've heard a lot of great things about this event over the years. The hard work that y'all have done to this center. It was a great experience, obviously, winning this, but you know, just seeing how hard you work, EJ, I wanted to give you a big hug and thank you for how hard you and your family worked this week. I wasn't quite sure it was going to be this way, but you know, hats off, man. You did a hell of a job all weekend. Your whole family has. Shout out to Cubica, the edge string pins. You know, I did kind of want to have a good first showing on the string pins. A short answer, it's bowling. You know, so I think that's very fair to say. So far, so fair. I was saying that all weekend. And yeah, I'm getting closer to your 42 regionals now. So. Other than that, thank y'all very much. Hey, you know, what a rough ending, but you know, it was great to get one on the man. You know, the man that's been on tour the last couple of years. He's got my vote for Player of the Year again this year, and that's why I'm working so hard right now in the off season to try and catch up with this guy. So shout out to the Tackett family. Thank y'all to the fans. Thank you to Cubica, and thank you, Bobby.
All right. Okay.
Thank you, Kyle. That's very well said, and I can't thank you enough for coming out. I know I talked to you a few months ago and asked you to come out, and graciously he did. And I was telling Bobby or somebody the other day that I really feel that the great program that we had on Friday night, you were definitely a part of that. We had a lot of people in this community that, you know, wanted to see you. They get to see me all the time, but I feel like there was a lot of people here that wanted to come see you. So I thank you for coming and participating, and thank you for beating me. Kyle worked great all weekend. He just kind of hung in there, and that's what you got to do sometimes, and then did exactly what he had to do here in Stepladder, and I wasn't able to do the same thing, but that's how bowling goes sometimes. So pretty upset right now with myself, but you know, I'll get over it, and congratulations to Kyle. Thank you guys so much for coming out. This is such a great event. You know, our 7th edition. I can't wait for next year to do this again and hopefully make it bigger and better with sponsors like Family Ford and Yergy's and some more coming down the line, I think, for next year. So the pin setters, I thought we were great all weekend. It was a great first experience, even for me. I'm bowling league on them, but this is the first time I've really bowled in a competitive setting. And I thought it was a lot of fun. And like Kyle was saying, you know, it's still bowling, and so far so fair. You know, you throw a bad shot, you get penalized. You throw good shots, you get rewarded for them. So thank you guys so much for coming out. I just can't say it enough. I've got a lot of friends here, a lot of family, a lot of friends that become family, and we look forward to many more great years here in Bluffton. Thank you.
Well, on behalf of the PBA, I want to say thanks again to the Tackett family. People of Bluffton, thank you, Phil. Thank you, Stephanie and Neil, and as well as Neil Stremmel for coming out and doing the testing this weekend, and all the players who are part of history for For string pins, it's definitely a step in the right direction and moving forward. So again, like EJ said, on to bigger and better things for 2025. So already looking forward to next year, making it bigger and better. Drive safely going home, and see you then. Thank you.
All right, we're going to work on getting Kyle Troup up here in the booth momentarily. Getting the champions picture with Bobby Jekyll. And then we'll get a few words from Kyle about his experience this week. Look at the smiles on everybody. Like EJ said, he's going to be a little tough on himself right now. Still gives his competition a big hug. There you see Ed Tackett with the big hug. And some pictures. And
one last thing for everybody leaves. Everybody give a round of applause to Bobby Jekyll for all his hard work.
all right. Sometimes your dad, even when you win a title, still gets more attention than you. That's still got to be a pretty good feeling, though, Kyle.
That must mean you're a legend in the game, man. So I love it. Love having him here anytime I can.
Yeah, so let's talk about the early struggles. You came out of the gates a little bit slow on the first two games, and it seemed like you kind of changed your focus a little bit mentally coming into this championship match. What did you do to get ready knowing it was going to be AJ in that final and coming out with that big double to start?
Yeah, the lanes were definitely tough. They'd sat for quite a while today, and my ball reaction, I never bowled less than 210 and never bowled more than 220 the first 3 games of either day with the urethane. So, was hoping maybe with the lane sitting a while that my ball reaction was going to get better. No, it definitely got a little worse. We definitely felt like I was on a U.S. Open pattern out there, just trying to grind through the first game. Chandler, I expected him to bowl a big game, he throwing it hard and straight. No matter if the lane changed or not, I felt like he was going to have a great game. And then Northouse, the start, I was still just kind of grinding along. And if he was to ever missed, then I was probably not going to ball change. And then I had the opening there in the 10th. And, I told myself, all right, well, you can make one good one here. But, going into EJ, I knew I wasn't going to bowl a big enough score to beat EJ with the urethane ball. So that's why I did switch to the Ion Pro in the fill ball the second game. Luckily, I had the game shut out so I could at least see the ball go down the lane on this pair. Yeah. And, I text my fiance, Brianna. I love you. I know you'll see this later on. I text her. I said, text Flora for updates. I need to put my phone down. Okay. And, because, this is EJ's house. Hearing he's led this tournament 5 years in a row, I didn't know that either. So, all right, I guess he's pretty good here. But, anytime you shoe up against one of the greats in the game, back-to-back player of the years in my book, I needed to lock it in and, really set the tone early because I felt like he was going to have a good look, good ball reaction. So I didn't want to give him an early window to kind of settle in. Okay. And I felt good to get those first few shots. And,
yeah. And now title in hand, $3,500. That'll help with a little bit of a house payment or two. And you've got to be feeling pretty good because you're going to be joining us again next week, aren't you, up at Foxview in Waukesha?
I'm not
You're
actually.
Not joining us. Okay.
I'll be back home for a few weeks. So.
All right. Good. Enjoy the time off. And we got to wrap it up because, people are going to ask. And after seeing this weekend, these Cubic Edge string pincers, you had a nice comment at the end where it's good bowling. Basically it's fair. I haven't seen anything that favored one person or another or anything all weekend long.
I would say, I was saying that all weekend. So far, so fair. Yeah. I guess I did get a lucky break in my first match with the washout. Yeah.
We'll see. We'll replay that one.
Yeah, we can replay that. But, throughout all weekend, I think I maybe seen like 2 or 3 string hits, you would say. Yeah. But the amount of shots that I seen myself and others that may have fallen in the free fall, but wasn't quite a good enough shot off my hand to fall. Okay. Felt like that was fair. Yeah. And it, like EJ said, throw 9, you get 9.
Yeah.
You know, you make a good shot, you get rewarded for it. I'm a huge fan of it. This is my first experience on the Cubica edge strings.
Yeah.
You know, coming into this event, you know, I didn't really know what to think.
Right.
I was definitely more on the no side, the negative side of it, but this definitely changed my perspective on it. You know, I'm a big fan of it. If this is, you know, in addition to the industry that we're going to go to, by all means, I'm going to support it.
Yeah, I like the way that the PBA is researching it and doing events like this at the regional level where they're going to analyze all the data and then make that decision. And I'm sure player input's a part of that as well. I know that there were some people here from QBA AMF that were asking for your input. Neil Stremmel's going to be sending you a survey to ask for player input. So that's got to feel pretty good, too, where it's just not the PBA making the decision. They're actually listening to the players on this one. I mean, it's good. It's a good thing to do.
That's all we can ask for. You know, seeing Neil out here this weekend, I guess he was there last weekend and as well as next week, you know, trying to collect data, opinions, you know, it is certified. So, you know, that's, you know, a great start as well. You know, I'm very, very proud of all the work going into this edge string pin edition.
Yeah.
And, you know, I wish it the best of luck. And, hey, if it comes, I'll be ready for it.
Anybody else you want to thank with the victory here this weekend?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that support you, I know.
You know, my fiance, Brianna, she had to stay home with the kids. Caleb had a homecoming dance. I told him I'd bring him this trophy since I missed his first homecoming dance because it matches his room very well.
Nice.
And Aubrey just flew to Phoenix with her grandparents today, so we had a lot going on this weekend.
Okay.
And then my sponsors, you know, Storm Products, Lane Talk, Bolify, Deaver Golf Carts, Ray's Eyewear, Bowler X, Vice, and a new guy. I've got to shout him out. His name's Dave Hintz with Underrated Muscle. I've been working with him for about 2 months now.
Okay.
Fitness, nutrition coach. He's changed my life. You know, spoke a little bit about I'm trying to work a little harder here in the off season to get back up to EJ's level, and you know, this feels really, really good right now. To, you know, I didn't have a drink all weekend. Was slamming my protein bars and my protein shakes, and you know. Just feels good to see some success and progress in that category as well. So thanks, Dave, Underrated Muscle. And thank you, PBA and Bobby, for handing me this
how about
money.
that? I never did get the check presentation on here. Kyle, congratulations.
Thanks. You, Phil.
I know the fans appreciate you here. They're all waiting around for our guys to talk to you, so appreciate that. And we'll be back next week from Foxview Lanes. Enjoy some rest. We're going to crown another champion there in these QPA Edge string pins. Thanks, Kyle.
Thank you, Phil.
Boom. Appreciate you, sir.